who's not very happy that I was leaving the house because, and I'll apologize up front if I'm a little groggy, we just had a baby 10 days ago, so we have a 10-day-old in the house, and my 20-month-old son is not quite adjusted to that, and so when I leave the house, he grabs onto my leg, and last night I slept on his floor 3 times. And so I think I got about 3 hours of sleep last night and about 5 the whole entire week before. So if I go off track, it's because I'm tired and I'd like to be asleep. But let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Fallon. It's just down the road, about 400 miles. I'm a 4th generation Nevadan. My 2 children now are 5th generation Nevadans. My mom was a single mom. Raised me, she was 16 years old when she had me, and we struggled. We struggled like many Nevada families are struggling right now. She finished her high school education, a GED, and then drove back and forth to Reno, 60 miles each way, mostly with me in the car seat, to get her education. She became a teacher, just retired recently after 34 years of teaching, and was the state of Nevada Teacher of the Year in her tenure. I learned a lot from her about perseverance, about getting by, about struggle, about how to accomplish things when the odds seem insurmountable. The rest of my family in Fallon did different things, but they all were volunteer firefighters. And so that's what I ended up doing, is being a firefighter after I graduated from high school. So there was a sense of, in my family, giving back to the community, whether it was through teaching and education or whether it was through the volunteer fire service. I was raised to give back. I had to contribute to my family's well-being growing up. My mom was a single mom. My mom's still single. And so, I always worked 2 or 3 jobs all through high school, starting when I was probably 14 or 15, and through the rest of my entire adult career. I just retired from the fire department. I'll get to that in a second. But I've always worked a couple jobs, and now I've traded in the 2 50-hour jobs I had, which was 1 in the legislature, 2 the fire department, and I guess 3 this congressional campaign. And people ask me if it's easier now. I said, no, I think I traded in 2 50-hour jobs for 1 100-hour job. But that's funny, you can laugh. That's I attempt at humor there. So, growing up in a small town was a good thing, but I thought I needed to get away, so I came here to go to UNLV. And in 1986, I went to UNLV, started my education career, but that I wanted to be a fireman thing kept poking at me. And so I went back to Fallon, to my hometown, to become a fireman there at NAS Fallon. I was there for about 2 years, and then came back to Vegas because I got hired by the North Las Vegas Fire Department. So I just completed about 22 years of service there and retired. I moved up through the ranks, firefighter, paramedic, engineer, captain, battalion chief, assistant chief, and I retired as the assistant chief there about 2 weeks ago. Along the way, the education system in this state has been very good to me. I have 2 associate's degrees from Northern Nevada Community Colleges, a bachelor's degree. I have a master's degree in public administration along the way, and a law degree along the way as well. So hard work, working 2 jobs, working a job, going to school, doing those kind of things has all kind of been my nature. And giving back to my community has been in my nature. So along the way, things I didn't think were going real well at the legislature. And some of my friends said to me, well, you could just sit there and talk about it, or you could do something about it. So I ran for elected office. I was elected in 2000, and went up through the ranks there as well, serving as the chair of the Transportation Committee, the chair of the Commerce and Labor Committee, assistant majority leader for 4 years, and then for the last 2 as Speaker of the Assembly. So I'm termed out because of term limits in this state, and I think I feel the same way I think most people in this room feel. When I turn on the TV, and I hear the politicians in Washington, D.C. doing nothing, bickering, not coming up with any solutions, fighting, pisses me off, quite frankly. It makes me mad. And again, the same feeling that I had 12 years ago when I first ran for the legislature. I thought I could sit here, I'm retired, I could, complain about it, or I could go do something. And so I've decided to run for Congress. I've had the opportunity to stand up, I think, for you folks in this room for the last 12 years, and I'd like to continue to do that. Can't do that without your help, though, so certainly always want all the support we can get. That's a brief history of who I am, where I've been, and where I hope I'm going. I'd love to